Hello everybody and welcome to Sew Something Southern. I'm Tabitha and today we're going to learn how to cut our fabric. We're going to talk about our ruler for a minute though. I have a 6.5 by 24 inch ruler, and they call that the length of fabric ruler. I have these little tight grips. It says they're non-slip adhesive rings. They prevent rulers templates from slipping. And there's 24 in this pack, and they're like $3 or $4, so they're just little bits, and they really work. They grip your fabric, they grip your mat and everything. We're going to use our rotary cutter. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our stop border, and that's going to be a 2.5 inch strip all the way around our quilt. So what you want is you want to get a ruler that makes sense to your eyes. I know there's lots of little lines on here, but just find one that makes sense to you, that you can understand, and it makes it so much simpler. So what we're going to do is, I've already measured the quilt behind me, so I know I need 9 strips to go all the way around. So we're going to line this up so I can just trim off this little bit here so we get a good straight start. I have my salvages lined up. I've pressed it, got everything lined up. I have it lined up on the line on my mat here, and my salvages towards me. And what I do is I line mine up where all this extra area here, I have the lines lined up. So I have like my black lines lined exactly perfect with the white lines. And I have everything straight. Turn our ruler on and give it a cut. And then we need these to be 2.5 inches. So if we line 2.5 inches up here with the edge of our fabric that we just trimmed, and line the rest of these marks up on our mat with the marks on our ruler, everything's going to come out perfect. We need 9 of them. So there's 1. Line everything up great. There's 2. See, with these grip tights on here, it doesn't slide at all. It grips to the fabric and it grips to your mat. Give it a cut. That was 3. I'm not sure if you're seeing this on the camera, but I turned all my white lines on my mat black because the ruler lines are black, and they just line up. Make sure everything's good and square, and give it a cut. That was 4. Five. 6. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the piece that I want to keep is under my mat. So I want this 2.5 piece. So just if my sewing goes a little bit off, the piece I want is under my mat, and it's safe, so you won't cut it. The other piece, you may have to go and buy some more because you've cut it, but at least the piece you need is safe. How many was that? 7, I think. So let's do 1 more. And everything up straight. Give it a cut. And there's our strips that are cut for our stop border. And these are cut with the fabric. And now we're going to cut the fabric for our big borders, the large 5-inch border. And how I'm going to lay that on my mat, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to lay all my extra fabric to my right side. Make sure everything's lined up straight. I have my selvages perfect. And I'm going to line it up. Sometimes when you get fabric, it comes in different lengths, like it's not straight around here. So the smallest piece is the piece that you want to line up. Make sure you give it a trim. Get everything good and straight on that side. So what I'm doing is I'm lining it up on the line on my mat here. And I've left a little extra hanging off on this side so that when I trim it on this line, because this is my shortest piece, I'm going to get it straight over there. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other ones. I'm going to line it up and I'm going to turn all the white lines on my mat black. Just so it's straight across here. It doesn't matter if your mat is a little wonky or whatever, but as long as you have these lines on your ruler lined up with the lines that are on your mat, it's going to become square. And it's going to give you a good straight cut. Now I'm going to cut my border fabric 5 inches. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to line it up. I have my 5-inch line on the edge of my fabric here. And then I have everything else, all these other lines over here lined up with a line on my mat to make sure it's good and square. And cut it. And we'll need 9 of these as well. See how them grip tight? They just grip a hold and the mat's not sliding everywhere, and I'm not having to stop and walk my hand up like some people will have to stop and walk their hand up just to hold it like that. I'm not having to do that with this grip tight on there. And they're just $3 or $4, so they're worth the investment. When I get to the end down here, you want to just make sure everything's straight. Cut one more piece and we'll slide it down because we need 9 of these. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 3 more. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I did a while ago. I'll make sure my selvages are lined up perfect. Give it a little wiggle. Rub on your fabric. They call this fabric fondling. So fondle your fabric. And line it up on your mat. Again, I'm going to just slither trim this just a little bit. And I'm going to line it up a little bit past my line. This fold here I'm going to line up on my line. Just like that. Everything looks good to me. And we're going to trim this off a little bit. Just a little slither trim. Just to make sure everything is good and straight when we start our cut. Do just a tiny little bit. We need 3 more of these. There's 1. And again, what I'm doing is I'm lining the 5-inch mark on the edge of my fabric right here. And all these other lines hanging off of my mat are lined up with the marks on my ruler. And one more. Everything's lined up. That's perfect. And this is just extra. So what it's going to look like is we're going to take one of our stock borders, and we're going to lay it here. I hope you can see it. Lay it on this side of it. And we're going to do that all the way around. And then we're going to open up our border fabric and lay it here. And put that all the way around. And that's how you cut your fabric. You cut it length of fabric, and then subcut it into the sizes you need. So if you wanted these in 5-inch square, you would just turn these and cut them again, and you'd have 5-inch squares, which is a charm size. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.